All right, guys, back in the garage again today. We're gonna address something really small, but actually a few things I want to do today, if I can get around to everything. It is ridiculously hot right now. In Florida, today I think it was reading like 93, 95 on the weather app, but I just came out of the RAV and the dash is reading like 101. It's ridiculously hot. Hopefully it rains soon and maybe it'll cool down, but even with that, the humidity is gonna be wild, whatever. Anyway, one of the things that I wanna address today is one of the things that kind of stood out in this car for me. It's one touch that I think it's nice, but I just don't like it that much. Not with the color of the wrap right now and like the overall theme of the car. As it is when the sun's not on it, the car is pretty dark. So what I want to do is actually change out these taillights. I was able to go on eBay and source a set of factory headlights. These are the 06 ones, and the driver's side does have the trunk button on it, which is a great plus. So it doesn't have just like that little hole that a lot of them end up having. The only thing with this is that the person that had it before did put in a strobe controller. So I do want to take this out and reattach the harness. I want the lights to be as factory as possible. So this strobe controller is the one that gives sort of that pulsing effect before it goes steady when you step on the brakes. So I'm gonna see if I get that onto the 370 third brake light down there. That would be cool, kind of give it sort of that F1 sort of effect. And then the other thing that we're gonna do is get this LED airlift thing back on the manifold. I had taken it off previously because it had broken at the bottom and some of the wiring came off. So a friend of mine was able to solder it for me, so it's working again. But I do have to wire it back into power and get the switch and everything in place. So I'm gonna do that as well. I have to do that behind the manifold, behind the tank and everything. So I've got to go put the back seats down and get that done. And then the last thing I want to do today, I kind of threw these up here as sort of a test fit just to see if I would want to use them again. But I had this LED strip in my car, in my Mazda 6 before, and just wanted to see if it was something I would add, and I think I will. So I just kind of used some 3M tape just to stick it up there and kind of see how it would look. And I think I'm gonna keep it. So I'm gonna try to tidy that up, make it look a little nicer, and keep that effect going. So again, tail lights, manifold cover, LED strip, today's goal. See, this is why you don't let anybody do work for you, because this is masking tape, like packing tape that they use to hold these wires together. Like, electrical tape is not expensive. That's probably why this one here is not connected to anything, because the connection probably separated. But come on now, do stuff properly, guys. All right, so what I just thought about, let me turn this fan off because I don't know how much you can hear me, but what I just thought about is I'm actually going to go ahead and install the taillight first before I put these wires together. And the reason I'm going to do that is because the third brake light actually tapped into that passenger side taillight. So I don't want to go ahead and, butt connect these wires back together and then still have to cut into them again to get like ground or power, because I don't remember exactly which plug or which wire in the harness bundle the third brake light is tapped into. So I'm going to take a look at that first before I start putting this stuff in, because I also have a tap for the reverse trigger for my backup camera. So yeah, I got to review the wire harness before I start putting things together and figure out my splicing and my reconnecting on that side. The driver's side should be straightforward because there's nothing extra there, but passenger side definitely is going to take a little bit more work. So far we got one tail light in, so we got that passenger side in. I ended up using some of these splicing clips. So basically this cuts into the wiring. It usually doesn't cut too good, so I usually have to make my own cut in the wire and then attach this. and then this connector just goes on this back side here. So I use these because it'll make it easier if I ever need to take the taillight out again. I don't have to worry about where I tapped in or spliced into the harness and the wires being connected. I can just unplug and replug those as necessary. Let me go ahead and turn this on real quick. And let's turn on the hazards too and give it a test. So there we go. So we got a functioning tail light here. Only thing I'm probably going to do is swap out this bulb for a LED. I already swapped out the LED that I had in the reverse light from the other headlight here, but that is probably the only halogen that's left in this housing, so I'm going to swap that one out. And just kind of an example or versus in terms of what it will look like. So I'm going to go ahead, get this driver's side out, swap the new one in. And then from there, I'm going to go ahead and work on getting the wiring in for the cover for the airlift manifold. All right, so onto the driver's side, got it opened up, and you can see they did the same nonsense here. So masking tape over the wiring. So we're going to go ahead and get this strobe thing out and reattach the harness together, and we'll go ahead and get this this tail light in. Alright guys, so we got tail lights in, both ends, all the lights are working fine. Doesn't seem like any of the LEDs are burnt out in either of the housings, so that's a good thing. So the only thing left to kind of do here is I want to swap these bulbs out in the corner for LEDs. Those are the turn signal bulbs, but that should be a quick order on Amazon. And obviously the third brake light down there on and working too. I didn't end up doing the strobe thing there. Maybe I'll do it in the future, but for now, I really do like how this looks. I actually prefer, maybe I'm one of the few people, I like the factory taillights better than those aftermarket ones, even more than those weird Spec D LED ones with like the black housings and the 2 rings. I don't know. These just feel better. But anyway, done with that. Gonna go ahead and get this airlift thing in. And then after that, I'll tidy up the LEDs like I said I would in the trunk. So next. All right, so we got power and went ahead and mounted the LED strip for the manifold. So, I mean, you can change the colors, you can change the speed, you can change the mode, however it flashes or whatever. You just have to download the app, but there is a little controller that I kind of just tucked away in the corner here, and you can kind of go through the modes and the colors and like all the other stuff, and the speed, so on. So yeah, so it's not a perfect fit, but that's because it's made for a V2 manifold, not for the 3P3H one. So V2 manifold was a little smaller, narrower. So again, it's not a great fit. I might go ahead and just take the cover off so it has a black background and you don't notice that silver under there. So that might be a better touch. So I might go ahead and do that, but just now off camera. But for now that's done. I've got to go make a quick run to the store, and then we can go ahead and work on getting that LED strip around. So essentially we'd look something like this in a sense. So we'd have LEDs around the trunk, and then the LED on the manifold, you know, kind of going off as well. But let's get to it. All right, y'all, so I did go ahead and add some touches to the taillights. I've seen this look in a few other places. I know a few people on Instagram I've seen, but also SFP Aero. It's a company that I got the over fenders from. They make sort of like a fiberglass cover that covers that section of the lens. So I did go ahead and I actually just laid the vinyl itself. So no actual cover, just laid the vinyl over the lens of the light. And I used knifeless tape to make sure I got like a straight line. So I laid the knifeless tape across, laid the vinyl, and then pulled the line through. I think it came out pretty good. Close it, it's kind of what it looks like. Kind of gives it like a little sleepy eye, kind of, I don't know. it's cool. I kind of like it. But again, if it grows old or if anything happens, I can always just peel the vinyl right back off. So I did do that on both sides. And then obviously I finished up in the trunk, kind of, sort of. So got that manifold cover working, and I went ahead and moved the LED lights a little further back so you can't see them. And they are still sticking to the top of the trunk carpet. But that is it for me for now. That's kind of things that I wanted to get done today, and I think I did that and a little bit more. So only other thing I'd like to do, I've seen these tags that you can put on the lines. I just want something neater. There are times where I have to undo these lines to do things, and it's a hassle to remember which line is coming from where. So that's why I kind of have these little tape tags on them so I can see what's what when I'm up here. I'd like to find another way to be able to mark these and identify them. So we'll see how that goes. And then the other thing I want to do, I did consider potentially wrapping the speaker grill. But my only concern is that it's kind of textured, and I don't want that to show through it because then it's going to look ugly with the vinyl. So what I'm considering is actually just finding like a nice gloss color and just painting this over. Because right now it just looks ashy and dry. It's a bit of an eyesore. But that's it for today, guys. We'll be back during the week with a few more things, see what else we can get done, and we'll go from there. But until next time, peace out. God bless.